Okay, so we got a new studio. Maybe I should do a new opening. I could do like the Muppet Show.
It's time to build the models. It's time to glue the parts.
Nah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I could do like the electric company. Hey, you guys!
We're gonna do some parts. We're gonna build us some models.
Well, maybe like a Mr. Rogers. Maybe that'll work.
It's a beautiful day at the model bench. A beautiful day to build models. Go build something.
No, I think we ought to follow mediocre model rule. Use what you got. So here it goes. Hello, fellow builders, and welcome back to the bench. Mediocre modeler here. Well, I want to say back from hiatus, and I'm all rested up and raring to go. Well, I am raring to go, but I used to think whenever someone said I'm going on hiatus, then they would like go somewhere and they'd be sitting on a beach drinking some kind of cocktail with a flower in it or something, a little umbrella. That clearly wasn't the case. Spent so much time just trying to get everything moved and organized, and I'm nowhere near that. But I wanted to build, I wanted to hit the ground running and build something, and then I realized that, well, I'm always saying go build something. It doesn't matter what it is. Well, building your studio is the same thing. I mean, I'm running into the same kind of hurdles with building out the studio as I would be with a model. I've never had this much room before. I think the thing that's it's coming to a point where you have to make the decision. You have to make a hard decision. This is what I'm going to do. But also realizing that you can change it. You don't have to stick with, well, this is the way it's got it. It's not like we're making concrete walls here, If something is in the wrong space, then you move it. I think the one thing that I did, I was talking to my buddy Scott, and we were kind of walking through the areas, and one thing we did come to the realization, kind of at the same time, is that this room is going to be more production. And there's another room that is where my router and stuff like that is, but the floor is carpeted. It's a relatively small room, but that's going to be a really much better place to display stuff. So production here, display there. So that's the first step. That's the first hurdle. But then on top of that, then it opens the door to just all the little things. Just trying to get everything set up. My cables are too short. I have to get longer HDMI cables so I can move my cameras around the room. We're getting there. We do. So, we are making a little bit of progress. I do have my 3D printers set up, which is basically the same configuration that I had in the other place, except it was in a small bathroom down in the basement. The upside where the other place was, I had a sink right behind me, and I don't have a sink here, so we're working through things out there. I think the filament printer is going to go in this other corner here, but what I'd really like to have in that corner over there is, I had taken down my little photo booth. Whenever I got done with the model, I could always put it in the little light booth and take pictures of it. But it's collapsible, so I put it up, take the pictures, and take it down. And that gets old. You want to be able to just walk. What do they call it? First order retrievability. you want to be able to just walk up to your thing, use it, and walk away from it when you're done with it. I would like to have a permanent photo booth thing set up to where I can do that. And that might be there. But this whole long table here, area here, let's see if I can get you a little bit better. Yeah, it's a mess. But I'm going through. Okay, so I'm thinking I could have the photo thing in the corner, and then my filament printer, and then I've got this whole upper wall that can be used. I can shelf out for paints or whatever I need. That way everything is right here, and then the building is going to go kind of in this area here. But that also means I need to be able to place overhead cameras. This ledge here is, you can't see the ledge. There's a ledge right here in front of me, but it's got a little bit of a lip. The lip isn't big enough to clamp my camera to. So, like I said, there's so many things that we're working on that need to happen. The other thing I'm finding is corners are killers. Okay. And the reason I say they try to deal with a corner, they eat up so much space. Because if you have it kind of like right over here with the 3D printer, it's in the corner and it's facing right next to it. Well, I mean, look. So it's in the corner and it's facing one direction. Then I've got that little, and it's not going to permanently go there, but that's just a parts sorter thing. It kills that corner. You just can't really utilize that corner to its fullest potential. Now, they make shelves that you can do that, and I've got my eye on one. It's not overly expensive, but and it's going to be for the display, but and I need the corners. I think I need it for a specific reason. I know what I want to do. That's part of one of my first builds. So one of my first builds was a Battlestar Galactica launch bay. Well, here, let's take a look at it. Okay, so this is a project I actually started a long time ago. Maybe 5 Wonderfests ago. I bought this kit, and it's actually a resin kit of a Battlestar Galactica launch bay. I'd have to look it up to see who the builder is, but it's these resin. See, I haven't looked in here for a while, so it's mainly these resin pieces, and this is the reimagined Battlestar Galactica. And I started building it out. It's going to require a little bit of touch up, but let's see if we can. You can see that. But this is the kit, and I've got some of the Vipers built. This is a 1/72 scale kit, and I started building the pieces out. See that? That's one, 2, 4 launch bays. I've got 2 of the Mark II Vipers, and then I've got a couple of Mark. Oh, look at that! I got plenty of Vipers. Plenty of Vipers for this kit, but I wanted to just kind of trick it out with make it a nice diorama. But it's huge, and it's got to go someplace. Being it's square, I can't just put it in the corner. Had I known I was going to be here, I probably would have done the cut the corner things. If you know about Galactica, you know what I mean there. And then it would fit in the corner a little bit better. It's 19 inches wide, and it's 32 no, 19 inches deep, 32, 36 inches wide, something like that. This is a hard kit to find a place for. But I want it to be on display, and I want it to be in a place to where I can do it a little bit at a time. So if I want to pull out a Viper, or I want to build one Viper, or I can work a bay at a time. This bay is empty. I'm going to put a Mark 7 in that. I can build that kit out, put it in there, put some little greeblies around, like tools and workbenches and people, and then give myself a little one-day build. It's kind of relaxing when you can do that. And then you just walk away from it and go do something else. So this has got to find a home. But for right now, this is where she lives. The Galactica kit also lends us into the other kind of problem, which is I have a lot of models. I've been doing model building for a long time, and some of the models just aren't going to make the cut. For example, back in the day when Star Trek Next Gen was on, one of my favorite things was the Enterprise wall that was in the Red Room of the Enterprise D. And what I had done was, as they were releasing the kits, I made my own. Instead of painting them gold and having the half model recessed into the wall, I built the whole wall, the whole model kit, and I had them on the wall. Well, that's a lot of real estate for a wall to take up. So I may cut that down to maybe just the E, my favorite. So that's the other part of this that we're going to turn into a positive. We're going to do some model culling. One of the conversations we had at Louisville when the guy, we were in the room and we were discussing the first Star Trek movies and what order you would rank them, like 1 to 5, favorite, and then best put together, whatever. And there was some conversation with the guys about building models. Not everybody in the group was a model builder. And I have a couple of extra of those kits. And the whole point of this channel is to get other people to build stuff, but also build models. So what better way to have someone be interested or see if they're interested in building a model than to gift them a model? So I've pulled a couple of kits together that I've bagged in Ziploc bags because not everything, the box didn't make it. I've bought kits where the box is just torn to shreds, but all the pieces are there, and so I would bag them in gallon Ziploc bags. And so somebody may end up with a Star Trek movie Enterprise on their front porch. But that bit of culling and is space is at a premium, and we're going to take advantage of that. And now on to and something more. And that being, hopefully you saw the interview with Augie, and I really enjoyed doing that interview because I got to talk about models and I got to talk about sci-fi. And one always leads into the other. It's almost impossible to have a conversation one without the other, because that's with the people I hang out with, that's what we do. And so I want to be able to talk about models, new model kits, old model kits, and maybe do some reviews and some compare and contrast between the new and the old, or maybe the difference in updates. Maybe you have an original model of whatever, and then they've done updates, and maybe I can get a hold of one of my buddies who has both, and we can talk about what they've changed, what stayed the same. Because there are people who want to to collect the original, to have the original, but also want to have something to build, or won't buy unless the new version is like a mirror copy of the old one, or if the new version, perfect example, the Enterprise movie model kit, the nacelles were, you just kind of glued them on, but those things were so heavy that they were, over time, they would spread and creep, and there have been no end of solutions trying to fix that. And I know they've re-released that. I think they've re-released that kit. Oh, let me double check. If there is an update to a model, I want to make sure the update is something well worth it. Does it make the model better? Some people don't want the updates. Some people want it as it came out originally. Maybe we can have a discussion where you got the original and the updated, and you can compare it part to part. That way you can make the decision on your own. The other thing I really want to do is to be able to make commentary on some of the sci-fi that we have out now. For instance, Obi-Wan. Great series. Love this. I mean, I'm 55 years old, and if 10-year-old me knew that 45 years later I would still be, not only would I still be enjoying Star Wars, but new Star Wars content, that's huge. And I want to talk about it. And the thing about it is, whenever something like that comes out, I try not to look at other people's content or assessment of whatever, so I'm not influenced by it. So I'm going to try and give a just general but honest, heartfelt assessment of whatever that content is, whether it be an audiobook or a TV series like the Book of Boba Fett or Obi-Wan. So I'm probably going to do another video on that. I'll probably try and call it something different so you can watch it or you can skip it if you would rather just watch the models. But there's so much. The potential is here to do so many things, and it all starts with getting this space together. So I just really wanted to kind of give you an update on where we were as far as building. One of the next projects also that I want to do besides the Galactica launch bay is I really want to make myself a Darksaber. So that's on the horizon. I'm thinking of doing maybe a whiteboard, and I can just scribble down all my little projects, that because there are so many that some may get forgotten. So that way I can scribble them down, and once they're completed, I can scroll them off or remove them from the whiteboard and put another project up. Possibilities are endless. But until next time, until we have a little bit more progress going, I want you to go out. I want you to build something. It doesn't have to be as elaborate as a whole studio, but something. And I do realize it is summertime. There's a lot of yard. There's a lot of grass to be mowed. There's a lot of yard work to be done, and that kind of eats up into our time too. But we do what we can. We build when we can. So until next time, have fun, be safe, and go build something. Pew 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 pew.